Alright, we are recording for Fairy Tale 39 in Grimm's Fairy Tales, the Bremen Town Musicians. And, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what all is going on here. Yeah, no apparent, I forgot to put this in the notes, no apparent moral. Seems to just be a story. But certain aspects of it are very similar to one we got earlier. I do not remember the name of it. Actually, I think that's it. The Fox and the Horse. It was early on. Yes, that's definitely it, though. Because it starts with a man who has a donkey. That the donkey has been serving him faithfully, but is old, so isn't able to do as much work as it once was able to, and so he's now thinking, okay, how can I save on the keep of the donkey? Meaning, how can I save on having to feed it? And the donkey realizes, like, there's no good outcome for me here. So he splits, deciding, I'll go to the town of Bremen and be a musician there. Not entirely sure why a donkey would think he'd be a musician, but fairy tale, so let's keep going. Whereas, just going back to the Fox and the Horse, in that it was the horse that was old, and the master was going to kill it or something like that. And he was like, no, don't do that. And Master's like, okay, fine. If you can catch a lion, I'll continue to keep you. And the fox helps him do that. In this case, though, no, the donkey leaves. And as he's going on the road to Bremen, encounters a dog that is just splayed out on the road, basically describing as though it had run all day and is just exhausted. It's like, what are you doing here? And the dog basically explains, same situation as you. Old Master was going to say he was going to kill me. So I left. And Donkey's like, oh, come with me to Bremen. You too can be a musician like me. Okay, so they go. Then they encounter a cat. Same story. Too old, so yes, let's go become musicians instead of being killed. Then they encounter a rooster. And this is actually a little odd, because I'm not entirely sure what is being said here. And maybe I could try looking it up. I didn't, but maybe I could. So this rooster has been crowing quite a bit, and they ask him, what is the matter? I've been foretelling fine weather because it is the day on which Our Lady, meaning Mary, washes the Christ child's, how I know, referring to Mary, also it being capitalized, the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them, said the rooster. It's using language that said the cock, but but guests are coming for Sunday, so the housewife has no pity, and has told the cook that she intends to put me in the soup tomorrow. This evening I'm to have my head cut off. Now I'm growing at full pitch while I can. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what is meant by it is the day on which Our Lady washes the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them. I'm not sure. It's kind of a lot like what I was ranting. No, that wasn't a rant. That was more ramble. And I think it was the previous one about the whole cultures assimilating, but also you do technically risk forgetting things and not recognizing symbolism. I do not recognize the symbolism of what it is specifically referring to there. Yes, obviously I do recognize that it's referring to Mary and Jesus, but the rest of it, I don't understand what is being said here. The day in which Our Lady washes the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them. I'm not sure what that is a reference to. I can't think of any holidays it would be. But it's also one thing that I'm pretty sure I'd have to look into this, but I'm pretty sure one thing that I've heard is that we have a lot fewer holidays today than would have been had at this time. So maybe there was actually a holiday concerned with that, and we've just neglected it or just moved on from it. Not sure. It could also be just symbolism for something else. I've been foretelling fine weather because it's the day on which Our Lady washes the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them. So maybe it's what he's actually saying. The Our Lady washes the shirts. So maybe that's a reference to it has been raining of late, but now it's time to dry. But now it's like that is over. It is time for them to be dry. It could also be symbolism like that, because I have been foretelling fine weather. Yeah, so that does make some sense. It's just I'm not familiar with that kind of description for God causes the rain, and but in this case, with is washing his shirts, and well, they need to dry, so the rain will stop. I'm not familiar with that description, so I'm not certain. I'm really not certain. But whenever this is originally from, that story is originally from, they would have known. Anyway, so now the rooster joins them, so it's all four, and they go off into a forest, and they're going to be spending the night. And they basically do so at the normal places. Donkey and the dog are at the base, the cat climbed up onto a limb of the tree, and the rooster flew all the way up to the top. And the rooster looks around and is like, there's a light over there. There must be a house. Maybe we should go check that out. So they go there because, yeah, but we are right now kind of sucks. So they go. Determine it's a robber's house. There's food in there, like, okay, how can we get rid of them so we can get the food? I get it, they're robbers. They're not good people, but at the same time, stealing from thieves is not necessarily correct either. Anyway, they talk amongst themselves and eventually come up with this plan. Which is the donkey here, we actually have a plate of it too, an image of it. See this? So we've got the donkey on the bottom, the dog, then the cat, then the rooster on top. And the donkey has its four legs up on the windowsill, so that then they all start making their noises, because they are the musicians. So the donkey baying, the dog barking, the cat mewing, and then the rooster crowing. They all do this at the same time and bust through the window. So the robbers in there are just scared out of their minds, thinking there's a ghost. They bolt. Then it's like, cool, let's eat. So they eat, and then they take their respective spots to sleep. The rooster in the rafters, the cat by the ashes in the fire, and this is actually important. The dog at the door, again, important, and the donkey outside in the hay. And the reason why this is important is, and I guess that this is part of the story to explain why it is they're able to just stay now indefinitely, because the robbers eventually calm down and are like, we really shouldn't have done that. You go back there, figure out what's going on, so then we can return and take our stuff. So one robber returns, gets in there, and is like, things seem calm, things seem normal because everything fell asleep. But apparently the cat sleeps with its eyes open or something, because he's looking around and is like, oh, it looks like there's still 2 coals burning in the fire. So takes a match to reignite them. Well, the coals, I guess, weren't burning, but they were at least glowing still, so added a little bit more so they actually ignite. So he figures, I'm going to do that. So he's shoving a lit match into the cat's face. The cat doesn't get the joke, and that's actually how it describes it, more or less. Hang on. Yeah, but the cat did not understand the joke and flew in his face, spitting and scratching. So the dude is like, backing up. This disturbs the dog, who then bites at his leg. He gets out, the donkey kicks him, and also the rooster is crowing. So when he gets back, what he says is, hang on. When he gets back to the captain, there was a horrible witch sitting in the house who spat on me and scratched my face with her long claws. And by the door stands a man with a knife who stabbed me in the leg. And in the yard there lies a black monster who beat me with a wooden club. And above, upon the roof, sits the judge who called out, "Bring the rogue here to me." So I got away as well as I could. It's like the rooster was actually saying cock-a-doodle-doo, but still. Dude was scared. So now it's like, oh, well, we're not going to Bremen. We're just... The 4 animals, we're just going to live in this house. How they're going to feed themselves is unclear. Or anything there, but it's still happy ending for them, I guess. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what a moral could be from this. I guess maybe a little bit of the whole, hey, just because you're old doesn't mean you're useless yet. Because you do figure this out, but it's also like, I don't know, that doesn't seem the strongest to me. One thing that I do find curious is why are so many robbers keeping houses in the woods? It's like, we got it here. We got, just pulling up the table of contents. The robber bridegroom was like that. I feel like there was another. King of the. No, it wasn't King of the Golden Mountain. It was earlier than that. this. I think that might be it. The Singing Soaring Lark, was that it? Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. That's not it. It's not the one with the lions. Maybe the Queen. No, that doesn't seem right. No, 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 no. That's not it. Come on, which one was this? Where the dudes kept screwing up, but was eventually allowed. Eventually, like, uh, the woman to rescue, the princess to rescue, was on top of a glass mountain. That's the one I'm trying to. I'm also remembering because he basically took the robber's house, wasn't it? No, no, no. He built a house, but encountered robbers outside of it, and that's actually the image I need to be watching for. But I don't remember the name of it or where it is in this. I could, in theory, search in the notes, but I don't necessarily believe that will be successful. Yeah, it's definitely later than that. But I do remember the image I had for the fighting of the robbers. But still, as I was saying, it does seem odd, this idea of just the robbers keep having houses in the forest. And it's also like, yeah, it's just common. Here it is. That's the raven. That's right, because she was turned into a raven. Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's a golden castle Stromberg. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Um, I did not expect the book to snap like that. But yeah, that was. It's just odd to me, this idea that we are having them constantly there. I mean, it's almost like. Were you just like, would they have just have had people walk through the woods and be like, oh, there's a house. We should really tear that down. Why? Because there's probably a bad guy living there. It also just seems like it's almost common, and how that there are robbers, and also like in the which one was it? The Four Skillful Brothers. Where it's like, yeah, I'm going to teach you to be a thief. Well, that doesn't seem very good. I'll teach you to be really good at it. Oh, okay. It's like thieves and robbers were actual professions or something. What's going on with this? Um, yes, I don't know. I don't quite know what's up with some of that. Um, yeah, I haven't really got anything more to add to it. It does, as I said, just seem to be a story. I'm not sure about much symbolism to it. Um, it symbolism within the story, not just like the a lady washing Christ Child's clothes, little shirts, and wants to now dry them. Not that kind of symbolism, but I mean like the fact that it is a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster. Because it's like, well, each serves a purpose. And it's like the cat's eyes are confused for coals, and it's like, well, yeah, cat eyes do kind of do that in the dark if there is any light hitting them. Um, it's like, they all are playing a specific role, so it could just be it was a story that people liked, and so it survived until the Brothers of Grimm got to it and could actually record it. And now it was basically guaranteed survival because it's in a book instead of just oral tradition. But yeah, I don't quite know if there's more to it than that. Next, we have the Water of Life, which appears to involve at least one like dwarf character in it. So we'll see how that goes. And here's another image down there that again looks to be a dwarf. So, and then we'll have Sleeping Beauty after that, which will be interesting. Yeah. Then we'll be very, very near the end. And we're already pretty near the end. But yes, and I'm the Water of Life I'm not familiar with at all, to my knowledge. Sleeping Beauty I am. It's also kind of interesting because I know that if you ask my mother about the various classic Disney animated movies, she would actually list Sleeping Beauty as the best of them, like above Snow White, Cinderella. I'm not sure if she would necessarily include Little Mermaid in that. I mean, she very easily could. I'm just thinking Little Mermaid is a bit later, so I'm not sure if you'd want to include in the same class as Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and Snow White. They are in a certain era that makes them like definite classics for that. Versus Little Mermaid wasn't that was 90s or at least late 80s. I feel like Sleeping Beauty would have been 70s. Anyway, um, it will be interesting to actually read the original, see how that goes. All right. Kind of it. I don't have another rant or ramble in me at the moment, so I'll just see you next time.